Hi learners, it's glad to see you in Krishna's space. Today is the day 86 of our 300 days DSA journey. So it's time for our today's problem. Let's understand it. So today's problem is maximum score after splitting a string. Here we have given a string S of zeros and ones and we have to return the maximum score after splitting the string into two non-empty substrings such that left substring and right substring. Here, the score after splitting a string is the number of zeros in the left substring plus the number of ones in the right substring. So now let's take the examples to understand it more better. So as we can see in the example 1, we have given a string and in the output they have written 5, which is the maximum score they got from this string. Same in example 2, they have given a string and in the output they have written 5. And in example 3, they have given the output 3 from this string. So now let's understand how we got these answers. So let's take the example 1 to understand it more better. So as we can see, they have given 5 as an output, which is the maximum score they got from this string. How? So when we are going to split it after 1 0, we are going to have two substrings, left substring and right substring. In a left substring, we are having 1 0 and in a right substring, we are having 4 ones and 1 0. And as they have given that we don't have to count zeros in a right substring, so we are going to count only ones, which is 4. So when we are going to add up zeros and ones, we are having 5, which is the maximum score. That's why they have returned the output 5. Let's say we are going to split it after 1 0. So in our left substring we are having 0 and 1, but we don't have to count 1 in a left substring, so we are going to count only 0, which is 1. And in a right substring we are having 3 ones. So when we are going to add zeros and ones, we are going to have 4 only. Same when we are going to split after 2 ones, we are having 1 0 in a left substring and 2 ones in a right substring, which will give us 3, and so on. So basically the maximum score we got from this string is 5, which they have given. Same in example 2 and 3 as well. So now let's understand how I have solved this problem. So to solve this problem, the first thing that I have done is to count all the ones from my string. So let's take the example 1 to understand my code step by step. So when we are going to count all ones from the given string, so we are going to have 4, which I have stored in a variable called ones. So now in my ones we have 4 and in my zeros and answer variable I have 0. After that I have done a loop in which if I got 0, so I am going to increment my zeros by 1, and if I got 1, so we are going to decrement our 1. And in my answer, I am going to put maximum of my answer or zeros plus ones. So let's understand it with the example 1. So in the first run, we are going to have first character as 0. That means we are going to increment our zeros. Now in my zeros, we will have 1. So in my answer, we will have maximum of answers and zeros plus ones. So in my zeros we have 1 and in my ones we have 4. So when we are going to add these two, we are going to have 5. And of course 5 is greater than 0, so in my answer we will have 5. In the next run we are going to have 1. That means we are going to decrement our 1 now, and now in my ones we will have 3. So in my answer we are going to have maximum of answer, which is 5, and zeros plus ones. In zeros we have 0 and in ones we have 3 because this time we got 1. So that means now when we are going to add these two, so we are having 4, which is less than 5. So that means my answer will remain same. In the next run again we are getting 1, so we will going to decrement our ones. Now it will become 2, and in my answer again we will have 5 because when we are going to add zeros and ones, we are going to have 3 only. In the next run again we got 1, and now in my ones we will have 1. So when we are going to add zeros plus ones, we are going to have only 2, which is less than 5, so my answer will remain same. In the next run we are having 0, so now my 0 will increment and it will become 2. So when we are going to add zeros plus 1, we are having 3 because in ones we have only 1. So my answer will remain unchanged. and we are going to move forward. So as we have traversed the whole array, we are going to come out from this loop and going to return the answer, which is 5. So that's how I have solved this problem. If you guys have any other solution of it, do write it on comment. And thank you so much for watching this video and staying with me.